The music stopped. A crystal gasp broke through the crowd as Camille stood motionless. Cheek flushed red from the slap that silenced the entire ballroom. Not because she had caused a scene, not because she had done anything wrong, but because she didn't look like she belonged. The woman who struck her, an heiress, entitled, untouchable, until the grand doors creaked open. And her brother walked in. No one knew his name yet. But they were about to. This is the story of power, privilege, and the moment it all unraveled. Welcome, story lovers. Comatonier City below. Camille had worked her way into elite circles, not through wealth, but resilience. A PR executive. By merit, she was invited to the prestigious Langston Gala, hosted in a glittering Manhattan mansion by the wealthy Whitmore family. Dressed in a sleek emerald gown and poise carved from experience, she moved through the crowd with grace. Most people assumed she was someone's assistant or worse, someone's plus one. But Camille was there on her own terms, invited for her success, not her skin. As the orchestra played softly and champagne flutes clinked, she smiled politely at glances that lasted a second too long. Among the socialites and heirs, she stood, out-tanned not just for her brilliance. On the upper balcony, one woman in pearls narrowed her eyes. No one noticed her glare except Camille. Something was about to shatter the fragile glass of luxury and civility, and Camille didn't know she was already the target. The tension started with a whisper. Who invited her? Someone murmured behind a gilded fan. Camille had been here before, spaces where she was celebrated on paper but questioned in person. As she tried to enjoy the evening, she felt eyes trail her every step. Still, she carried on. She crossed paths with Celeste Whitmore. Celeste, heiress to the Whitmore fortune, wore status like armor. Her icy smile barely concealed disdain. Camille had once denied her a PR contract over ethical concerns of fact. Celeste hadn't forgotten. So bold of you to show up, Celeste muttered while brushing past. Camille didn't respond. But moments later, her presence became the center of quiet mockery. She thinks she belongs, someone scoffed nearby. Isn't she adorable? Camille turned away, heart pounding. But the insult that tipped everything came when a drunk guest joked, she must be the entertainment. Then Celeste made her move. In the middle of the ballroom, she reached out and slapped Camille. The crowd gasped. Champagne spilled. Silence fell like a curtain. Camille stood frozen, her cheek burning. She didn't cry, didn't speak. Just stared back, calm but shaking inside. Celeste laughed bitterly. That's what happens when people forget their place. But before anyone could react, a voice from the entrance broke the moment like thunder. Touch. My sister again, and this entire room will learn what power really looks like. Heads turned. Camille's brother had arrived, and no one in that ballroom knew just how powerful he really was. The room parted like water around him. Elijah, Hayes tech mogul, Forbes cover, net worth in the billions, strode through the ballroom, eyes locked on Celeste. Not in anger, in control. Apologize, he said, tone sharp as glass. Celeste backed up, shaken. You've just assaulted the co-founder of Hayes and Hayes. Gasps rippled. Everyone had seen Elijah's name in magazines, but never imagined the brilliant mind behind the empire was the brother of the woman they dismissed. Camille didn't flinch. Elijah stood beside her now, towering in presence, calm but dangerous. The Whitmore's PR manager whispered something urgent. Celeste's face fell. This wasn't just a scene, it was a scandal. No one looked at Camille the same. No one laughed now. This wasn't just a slap, it was the spark that exposed a legacy of arrogance. Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like. It really helps. Celeste issued a hollow apology, but the damage was done. The next morning, headlines exploded. Heiress assaults black businesswoman, billionaire brother retaliates with truth. Camille didn't need revenge. She already had power earned, not inherited. The Whitmores lost major deals. Their name now whispered with shame. But Camille's story became more than viral gossip. It ignited conversations in boardrooms, schools, and dinner tables. How many others had been quietly humiliated, dismissed, or erased? How many stood silent when slapped by systems, not hands? Camille walked away that night stronger, not because of her brother's wealth, but because the world finally saw her worth. Racism wears diamonds, too. And sometimes it takes a public slap to reveal the rot in private. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos.